The views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of CIUT FM.
CIUT 89.5 Toronto.
Welcome back to the Career Buzz Show on CIUT 89.5 FM. I'm Nicole Hamilton. My next guest, Angel Torres, is a Colombian-Canadian photographer who's been photographing for arts and business publications in Toronto while fearlessly and organically developing his portraiture, nature, and urban landscapes photography for over a decade. Wow. Angel joins me now live in studio. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nicole. Thank you for having me
Good
back.
morning. Just want to clear the throat just a little bit, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
I'm so glad to have you back because you've been here at CIUT with me live on air before, and we spoke about your work, and it's just so lovely to have you back in studio.
Thank you. I'm honored for the invitation back. You're doing God's work.
Oh, thank
so
you.
it's wonderful that you support entrepreneurs and artists the way you do.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. And I love entrepreneurs. And speaking of entrepreneurs, you are a great one because I've been seeing all of your photography and more online. You know, let's talk about your creative process and the types of work that you do, because we spoke about nature, etc. But tell us in a few words, who is Angel Torres?
Me? I'm very passionate. I'm at a really good place in my life now where I'm just drawing and working from a place that is very free. And I've come to be to a place that's very strong and fearless, and it gives me a lot of strength to move forward creatively and delve into new worlds that I myself haven't delved into before, and it's been really rewarding delving there, going there, because it's its own reward. So it's really beautiful, creative journey.
Yeah,
getting there.
And you know, when you are working as a photographer, I would imagine everything inspires you. You know, as you're walking down the street, you know, from nature to people. Do you have a favorite, you know, type or object or thing or embodiment that you prefer to photograph?
I'm very passionate now about people. I'm getting very much into portraiture. I love making people look good. That makes me feel good when I can bring out the best in people and bring out their personalities, their individuality, because we are all individuals and unique, and that's beautiful. Society sort of unconsciously teaches us to hide a lot of that, but it's beautiful to bring that out in people and teach them to own it, because that is our gift to the world.
Right. And I think that's so key too, because, you know, when an individual is sitting in front of a photographer, we want to feel safe with you and know that, you know, we can indeed be ourselves. So very cool that you enjoy, photographing people the most. When the last time that you were on the show, we were talking about some of the skills sets, et cetera, that are necessary to be a successful photographer. But let's talk about cameras, because sometimes that's a hard choice for someone who's deciding to walk in the career path of being a photographer. What should they be looking for when they are purchasing that great camera? What do we need?
Like I guess that can also vary depending on the artist and what they're looking to create. Um, I like to have. I don't like to be limited, so I like to have as many possibilities open as possible at all times. On top of photography, I also enjoy videography, for example. So the last camera I purchased is a top of the line camera, which also does great videography, and on top of a lot of great photography features for lighting and color and just overall lens quality. And it just brings your work to great new levels, new heights.
So looking for lens quality is something that we should definitely be looking for.
Yes,
right?
absolutely, absolutely.
Do you have a
Yes.
certain product name that you prefer to go with when you're purchasing your camera items?
I guess everyone has a preference, but me, I'm a Canon man. There's a lot of everyone has a preference out there. It's like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, Nikon and
Right.
Canon, but I'm a Canon man. So,
Okay.
yes.
Now, let's talk about skill sets, right? In order to be a good photographer, what does one need?
Hmm. I think I might be gifted with good eyes for color and unique vision for life. My eyes see a lot of nuances in life that others might not see. So this skill comes to me as a blessing to help with my work, actually.
And so it's quite rewarding to capture these details and nuances that with the camera that often are overlooked in everyday life.
So, what about things like attention to detail, being able to pull out of the picture things that, perhaps maybe we might not have seen, So, for example, I was really impressed by a lot of your photography, for example. A lot of times I see it, and the sky, for example, is so brilliant. Is that something that you look for? How are you looking to pull out the things in nature, or to really to bring those things forward so that the images can be that much more impactful?
Yes, absolutely. Nature is always the ultimate inspiration and muse for me, and anyone really. Because if you can incorporate nature into, for example, an advertising campaign, uh, the blue skies, the green trees, the waters, all that is a primordial upgrade to an image and a visual, and then therefore the experience that the person interacts and absorbs with an image or the artwork. So it greatly adds a lot. So I always like to, if with the technology, improve the aspects of nature, say with detail or sharpness, bring out the sky a little more, and the textures in rock or in water is always so beautiful.
Ah, all right. Well, folks, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Career Buzz Show on CIUT 89.5 FM. I'm Nicole Hamilton, and I'm so pleased to be sitting here with Angel Torres, photographer, videographer extraordinaire. So tell us about what you have coming up, because you are constantly busy. I mean, your social media. When are you sleeping is what I want to know.
Oh,
But
my
talk to us
goodness.
about what you have coming up.
Yes, good point. I'm up to 4 a.m. most nights, so it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears for sure. And I'm very excited and thrilled about so many projects coming up in 2020 already. We have lined up the Havana 500 show with in conjunction and collaboration with Tele Latino and Salsa in Toronto. And so very excited. It's a pardon me, an extension of my Havana exhibit at the Columbus Center in the summer. So we have that. I'm working on another project. I'll sort of keep that low key, but I've discovered also of the wonderful world of funding for artists, which is just opens up so many portals and realms of possibility. So
Definitely.
very excited.
Thank you so much to all of the wonderful arts councils that are doing
Yes.
their great work out there and do fund a lot of what we do.
Yes.
So if individuals want to find out more about these projects, Angel, where can they find you online?
Perhaps where I'd have I have so much social media, so it's also a lot of work maintaining a lot of that, obviously. But perhaps where keep the most information is on my Facebook company page, which is a collaboration of my photography and my design and videography and everything all together. It's on Facebook, and it's Archangel Design, no spaces, .ca.
Okay, excellent. Well, we're about to let you go, and we're going to be bringing in shortly an individual that you work with quite a bit, Brian Torner of the Continental Dance Club in Mississauga. But before we do let you go, piece of advice that you would give to up-and-comers in photography, what words of wisdom would you give them?
Work hard, don't give up, trust your inner voice, and don't stop, persevere.
Persevere.
It's a tough town, but you have to trust your voice and your choices.
So good. Yeah, there's
Yes.
room for all of us, right?
Exactly.
So good. And Hal, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thank
Such a
you,
pleasure to
Nicole.
have you.
It's a pleasure being back.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. And to you as well.
Thank you. Feliz Navidad.
And that was Angel Torres here with me live on the Career Buzz Show on CRUT 89.5 FM. We're going to take a break and be right back after this. Welcome back to the Career Buzz Show on CIUT 89.5 FM. I'm Nicole Hamilton. My next guest, Brian R. Torner, is a world champion trainer and choreographer, a 15-time world championship adjudicator, and champion ballroom dancer with an impressive history. Now, catch this. Brian received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Can-Am Dance Sport Gala organizers, and in 1998 danced at the Royal Albert Hall in London, England, as a duel of the Giants contender with Brigitte Meyer and Ralph Le Pen.
Yes.
Yes.
Good
and
morning.
Again, there's so much more to talk about on your bio. Your bio as well is quite long.
It is.
Please
it's
help me
too
in-
much. I think I want to just scrap everything before 50, and I feel like I'm starting all over
You're
again.
starting all over. Well, I love it. Well, help me welcome Brian Torter to the show.
Thank you so much, Nicole
So nice
Hamilton.
to see you again. And just like Angel, you've been here with me on CIUT.
Yes.
But let's talk about, how you begun, because your story is quite interesting, and you have family members in dance as well.
Yes.
Where did this begin for you, this journey in dance?
My parents actually met at a dance, a public social dance in Hamburg, Germany, where they both lived after the war. And yes, well, my father asked my mom for a dance, and ballroom dancing in Europe was maybe more formalized, and a way of learning how to behave in public, also how to behave when asking the opposite sex to dance. Today we can ask the same sex to dance and transgender, so it's a very different world, but it was quite formal. I just remember that my parents tell me that little bit. They couldn't tell me what dance they danced to, but they did say that all of the girls told my mom, "Stay away from him, he's a player."
Oh, my.
But he did write my mom a letter every day for 2 years, because she actually, right after that, about a month after, decided to move to Canada, not knowing the language, not having family, not having gainful employment. And I just don't know how she did. But my mom and my dad are my heroes. They really managed to, from nothing, they came together after 2 years. They married. And they just, their success formula is so difficult. It is that they are privately and in business together. They build a business, and it's sort of like one does the accounting, and the other does the steps after the accounting process, the chartered accountancy process. And they've had a practice for the last 55 years. It's incredible. And they're still going to work every day, because we have a unique marriage of two businesses out where we work, and that's the Continental Dance Club in Mississauga, 3141 Warden Way, and that's a public accountancy practice and a dance business, which
Wow.
stays preserved because my family's businesses serve to preserve it. But now I'm so busy, and things are coming like they're dropping from heaven. I'm not kidding, Nicole. So since last year, so many wonderful things have happened.
Yeah, you're busy.
I miss talking to you.
Oh, well, I love having you here at CIUT. And you are so busy, because there's so much that is going on at the Continental. Talk to us about what you have coming up.
I'm so glad that you asked me this question, because I cannot believe it. But just coming up in the very near future, this Sunday, for example, we have a Christmas potluck. So rather than make an expensive event and hire a dance couple and DJ and so on, actually everyone has offered their services for free, and it's a potluck. So we have a chance also for those students and instructors and team partners that are already working with the Continental to learn of the new people. And the new year, we've got incredible people coming. Toronto Tango Marathon happens to be a dance school in Toronto that specializes in Argentine tango, runs 2 off-site events a year. It's also my former dance partner, Elizabeth Sadowska. She's coming back to the Continental. So the venue, the Continental, is really becoming more attractive for outside events, and I didn't pursue this. What else is happening? In February, we have Bachata Noche Wednesdays from 7 until 11. You can dance your butt off, and it's wonderful because it starts with about a half an hour free class, and that's also something that just dropped out of heaven to me. I didn't go pursuing it. I wasn't advertising for it. I probably will go with my family. Angel should know this is a surprise Christmas present.
Our guest right before you.
Yes.
This is a surprise.
That's
Okay,
right.
all right.
We are going to go to an event run by the National Dance Council of Canada President, Miriam Pearson. She's like Queen Bee of Canada. I love her. Miriam Pearson, La Classique du Québec. It's also wonderful to dance in Quebec. Besides that, what else?
Well, I think that's a
Lots.
fantastic surprise, but I hate to...
I'm exhausted already.
I hate to burst your bubble. Angel
Yes.
is going to know, not only because we're broadcasting across Canada right now, but also because he's standing on the other side of the
I
studio.
know, well...
outside of this glass, right? So hopefully, if our speakers are not on, he's not going to hear. But got to tell you, the speakers are on. He's heard every word.
Angel deserves a lot of treats because he works so hard above and beyond to help this brand of the Continental, which is quite unique. It's not just about dance, it's about photography, it's about, we have a 73-year-old maestro of music who just called me up out of the blue last year after
Who I
our
believe
interview.
is John Loomis,
John
correct?
Loomis.
Yes.
And he is teaching me and Elizabeth Sadowska music on Thursdays. He's actually coming out of retirement, and he's doing the notes for the MSO, Mississauga Symphony Orchestra, who are coming in to rehearse La Traviata in my studio all of January. I mean, this is breathtaking stuff.
There's so much that's going on. And you know, I
It's-
think for people who have, I mean, who hasn't, but for anyone who hasn't heard about Continental, what disciplines of movement do you practice and teach there? Because, you know, we really want to make sure that individuals know, hey, this is where I've got to go, for example, for tango. What disciplines of
Yes.
movement are offered?
So, besides the Tango Marathon, one can also if we have inquiries regarding tango, for example, we do have exponents, different levels in our school who can teach that. So if you go to thecontinentaldanceclub.com/about, you'll see a list of people, specialists, instructors, connected to dance, but also photography. Dance also, though, in many different sensibilities and genres, as a healing art, chakra dance. I was approached last year to be third exponent of a chakra dance and sound healing and a caping sort of experience. What else? Serbian folk dancing. We have a huge group, 2,200 dancers, 11 troops. They have been with us since the beginning, and they are internationally renowned. They're fantastic folk dancing troupe. Amazing.
So much that's going on. And, you know, I feel like, you know, to sit down with you needs to be an hour because there's so much that's going on in your company. And, you know, we have just a couple of minutes left to spend time with you this morning. But I'm curious to know, as are our listeners, because we had a couple of individuals who wrote in once they knew that you were going to be on the show.
Yes.
As a working, you know, somebody who has operated as a teacher, a dancer, adjudicator, and so much more within the dance field, what have you found, what has been one of the biggest highlights of your career?
I have so many highlights in my competitive dance career, but I must say, pardon me, that in recent memory, an incredible highlight for me has been that I met Angel Torres, because he has just opened my eyes to believing that I can become something in my middle age. I'm 55 years old. I feel like I'm about 28. I'm getting fitter. He pushes me. He pushes us. We push each other and we inspire each other. It's a really good working team. We also need some time apart because, you know, too much energy sometimes is just, we need to calm down. You know?
Yeah, you both definitely are a ball of energy for sure. And as we start to close, thank you for sharing what you have coming up
Thank you so
at the
much.
Continental.
Yes.
But I asked my previous guest, Angel, as well, give us some last words of wisdom as we close for dance artists out there or individuals who want to work within adjudication, etc. Words of wisdom.
So it's important to believe in yourself. It's also important to surround yourself with people who you aspire to work with, and don't be afraid. Don't think that you know it all. Make sure that you look for all the different angles, that you are interested in what you do, you're passionate about it, you look at it from all angles, and you don't be afraid to look for help. And also volunteer your time. Find out what it's like to actually help others or be a mentor. As an older person, I'd like to do that for younger people. It's not always about the money. Quite often it's about what can you do, what can you say, how do you approach everything in life, even a Facebook post or an answer. You know, you want to be encouraging. You want to leave this world a better place than it was before you were there.
So good. Well
Yeah.
said. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me on
Thank
the
you
show
so
this
much.
morning. Always a
I
pleasure.
appreciate it. It's over with too fast.
Too
I love
fast.
it here. Yeah.
Thank you, Brian. Such
Thank
a
you for
pleasure to
having
have
me.
you.
Thank
That
you.
was Brian Turner of the Continental Dance Club. And I want to thank all of my guests this morning. Angel Torres was in the house this morning as well. Renee Winter, If you want to find out more about our show, you can visit careercycles.ca. Follow us and follow me, actually, on Twitter, _Hamilton _. I can be found on Instagram as well. So again, make sure and tune in next week and every week for much more of Career Buzz. Thanks for listening. That's it for now.